everybody. Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike Eldon, as always, I'm joined by
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
Plus, we have a very special guest with us, don't we?
Yes, it's our old buddy Bob Myers. Bob!
Woo!
Hello, everybody.
There he is.
Wait a
Glad
minute.
to be back.
Yeah, this is not just any old appearance, though, is it?
I don't know.
It's
I'm
your
not
10th
sure,
appearance.
I'm not. Is it 10? I
this
lose
is
track.
10.
Who even knows anymore? But I'll believe it.
Wow, I didn't think it was up to 10, but good job, Bob.
I knew it was
Yeah.
around there, but yeah, I'll believe that it's 10. This is very exciting. Still waiting on the smoking jacket. I assume that's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
It's the supply chain. You know, it's still clogged up.
Supply chain. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that
But
fits.
Bob, I think the last time you were on, didn't we do Thing?
Yeah, we did the thing.
Yeah, the pro wrestling thing. That was good.
That's right. Yep.
And
Good
I
stuff.
mentioned to you then that I wanted to do a Brother Voodoo at some point, and you're like, yeah, invite me back on for the Brother Voodoo. But here's what I like about the Bob there, Michael, is he's one of the rare guests that volunteers to come on the show.
Interesting. We don't
Yeah,
have to
because
pay him.
I hate bothering people, but Bob messaged me and say, hey, you still want to do that Brother Voodoo? I'm ready. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go. Let's do that.
Nice.
I sit here in my dark hole alone, just waiting for invites, and I never get them. So sometimes I have to reach out.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because here's the other thing, is we record like ahead of time and stuff, so then I always forget to like book a guest, and then I pick a book before I talk to the guest. It's a big, I get confused.
It's a lot of coordination,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
a lot
I'm a
of
simple
coordination.
caveman. I don't know how to do these things.
I don't know how your futuristic technology works.
But this week on Flea Market Fantasy with our buddy Bob, we're doing Strange Tales, issue 169, featuring Brother Voodoo.
That's right.
And this is from 1973. This is the very first appearance of Brother Voodoo.
Very cool.
Now, Bob, why were you so excited to do Brother Voodoo?
I don't know that I was so excited, but I mean, because I don't know Brother Voodoo that well, but I mean, listeners of this show will know that I definitely enjoy Strange Tales because I love Doctor Strange.
right.
And Brother Voodoo definitely has crossover with Doctor Strange. I've seen him at least once or twice coming over
Right.
to Doctor Strange. And I think this 169 of Strange Tales is almost immediately after it switched over from being Doctor Strange.
We'll
I'm not
get into
sure if
that.
it's okay.
Yeah, I'll get
but
into
yeah, but Brother Voodoo, while obviously being more voodoo related, is not all that different than Doctor Strange in his powers. And so with his, not astral projection, we'll get into what his powers are. But I enjoyed Brother Voodoo, so he's a superhero I like. We'll just put it like that.
And I think years after this book came out, like I think sometime in the 2000s, didn't Brother Voodoo become the Sorcerer Supreme when like Doctor Strange was
Yes,
busy
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah,
In fact-
Michael probably knows. I've read that, but I don't know any detail. I read that on the internet. I haven't read any details of that. So.
Yeah, I think that's actually the only other Brother Voodoo story I read, which was, I think, that New Avengers story written by, unfortunately, Brian Michael Bendis, right?
Mike L. hates Brian Michael Bendis.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
But I'm a big fan of Brother Voodoo, and I wrote a column about Brother Voodoo on the Comic Book Syndicate website years ago, a Flea Market Fantasy column. And I think
Right.
I did issue 171 of Strange Tales, so this is 2 issues prior to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first appearance of Brother Voodoo. Now, the series Strange Tales, it started in 1951 as a horror anthology from Atlas Comics. And that was before Marvel, right, Michael? They were called Atlas.
Yeah, it was kind of the same company, but they were called Atlas. You're right.
Yeah. And with issue 68 in 1959, the book shifted to mostly sci-fi stories because the comics code came in, and cracked down on the monsters and the Draculas and the werewolves and whatnot, and the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
So they switched to sci-fi, and Jack Kirby came on board. And Kirby was a mainstay of Strange Tales then for many years.
Really?
He did a bunch of monster stories. And then in 1962, the book started focusing on superheroes with regular Human Torch stories. And this was, again, old Jack Kirby. And this lasted from when it was just Human Torch at the beginning of the book, it was from issues 101 to 109. And then in 1963, it became a split book with Human Torch opening things up, and then Lee and Ditko doing Doctor Strange in the second half.
Interesting.
And that's what Bob liked, I bet. Hey, Bob, did you ever go back and read all those old Ditko Lee Doctor Stranges?
I did. I've read most of... Yeah, I read all those Strange Tales Doctor Strange and then continued on when he got into his own books.
Yeah, how about that? Because this is the first appearance of Doctor Strange. This is where it all started, Strange Tales. And then this format lasted from issues 110 to 123, and then from issues 124 to 134, the Human Torch and the Thing teamed up in that first story, and then Doctor Strange closed out the book. Then from issue 135 to 168, it was Doctor Strange and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And Lee and Kirby started the Nick Fury run, but of course Jim Steranko came in then.
Right.
Around issue 151, and he closed out, and that's what really made Steranko famous, was his stuff with Nick Fury, you know?
Right.
And so that was something. So then with issue 168, the series ended. They called a stop to things. But 5 years later, in 1973, the title was revived, and they just picked up the same numbering. So
see, that's what was throwing me off. The math was not adding up.
I knew Doctor Strange ended somewhere around here, but I didn't realize it was 5 years earlier. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, they just said, all right, we'll just start numbering from 168 again. So this here, issue 169, is the first issue with Brother Voodoo and the first issue back for Strange Tales. And Brother Voodoo lasted until issue 173. Then from issues 174 to 177, 3 of them had a monster guy named Gollum. Did you ever read any Gollum, Michael?
Never.
Very creative, a Gollum.
Yeah, and then one of those issues was also a reprint of an earlier Amazing Adventures book or something with, I think the monster's name was Tor, T-O-R-R.
Nice.
And then Jim Starlin came in and he did Warlock from issues 178 to 181.
Yes.
And of course, that was a big deal.
Yes.
And then Doctor Strange reprints ran until the series ended in 1976 with issue 188.
Wow.
Then in 1987, Michael, Strange Tales Volume 2 fired up.
That's right.
Do you remember this? I don't remember this at all.
Oh, yes, it was Doctor Strange in half the book, and the other half was Cloak and Dagger, right?
That is correct. Any guess on how many issues it ran?
Oh, I'm just going to throw a number out. Was it like 18?
19.
Wow.
So close.
Okay.
Yeah, very good, Michael. And so that ended in 1988. So there you go. There's your Strange Tales history. So Bob, you enjoyed reading the old Strange Tales and all those early Doctor Strange adventures?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I love Doctor Strange. He's one of my very favorite characters. So I love reading those old tales and I read a lot of other Strange Tales stuff, but all the Doctor Strange stuff I did.
Yeah, and those Doctor Strange books, they solidified the foundation for the character and his supporting cast. Like Baron Mordo got his first appearance in that stuff, and FLEA and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it really set the foundation for everything we know of Doctor Strange going forward.
And I guess Ditko was praised for his work on Doctor Strange, right? Like they said it was very psychedelic and it
was awesome, awesome stuff.
All right, so that brings us to Brother Voodoo. He was created by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Len Wein, and John Romita Sr. Stan Lee had the idea. He said, hey, I want to do something with Voodoo. Let's do something with Voodoo. And then he talked to his buddy Roy Thomas, and he and Roy Thomas were kicking around ideas. And Roy Thomas came up with an idea for a guy named Dr. Voodoo. And Stan Lee said, no, let's call him Brother Voodoo, which is a way better name. It's a way better name. Brother Voodoo. Also, I guess when he became the Sorcerer Supreme, though, all those years later, they did call him Dr. Voodoo. So,
the man is a doctor. Put some respect on his name.
he has a PhD. He is a doctor, yeah. He's officially a doctor. And then Len Wein fleshed out the character, and John Romita Sr. Designed it. Although I think Roy Thomas came up with the idea for the circle on his forehead with the V in the middle of it. Like, that was his idea.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. So after his run in Strange Tales ended, Brother Voodoo appeared in issues 6 and 10 of Tales of the Zombie, which was a black and white horror magazine. And Mike L., I've already made a note. If we make it to Shocktober this year, we're going to read Tales of the Zombie.
Sounds good to me.
So, yeah, that's going to be awesome. And that was in 1974 and 1975, respectively. Also, you can't mention Brother Voodoo without mentioning Fred Hembeck.
Why?
Because, do you remember Marvel Age?
Of course. So am I reading them right now? Like the
Oh,
entire
really?
series? Yes. Yep.
Well, tell the kids what Marvel Age was, Michael.
It was basically a fanzine, but it was published by Marvel promoting their own books. And they would have previews, they'd have interviews with creators, they would have, articles about history and stuff, and that's basically it. And the fun fact, it started out as a 16-pager for the first 5 or so issues, then it went to 32 pages after that. But
yeah, I used to buy Marvel Age all the time.
His interesting historical fact, it technically features the first appearance of Spider-Man's black costume.
Oh, wow.
If not the original design, it was the black and red design. And so, like, issues like that are worth a lot of money because sometimes you can see characters before they appear in the regular series.
Well, one of the staples of the Marvel Age, Micah, was Fred Hembeck's little cartoons.
Yes.
He'd do a little cartoon, like, making fun of the Marvel Universe, or whatever.
Right.
And he liked to always poke fun at Brother Voodoo. It was like a running gag. Yeah, he would always, whenever he needed, like, a poor schlub to make fun of, he'd always mention Brother Voodoo.
Mm-hmm. And that's racist.
No. He was always saying like Brother Voodoo was desperate to get his own book again, But so then years later, and that was Marvel Age. It started in 1984, and then in 1990, Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, Issue 1. That was a series. I guess that was a series of books. I'm not familiar with that series, but Fred Hembeck drew a Brother Voodoo story for Issue 1 of that series. And he drew it in a very realistic art style, not like the cartoony stuff we used to with Fred Hembeck. Yeah.
Okay.
So you should go check that out. It's pretty.
I will.
Yeah, old Fred Hembeck. So there it is. Any other interesting info you'd like to mention about Brother Voodoo, Michael?
I don't think so, no. But I've always been fascinated by him for sure. So I'm glad we're doing this.
Yeah, we'll learn all about Brother Voodoo.
All right.
I guess I should say his real name is Jericho Drumm. Drumm, Jericho Drumm. And he has a brother named Daniel, who we'll meet in this issue as well.
Right.
And, we'll just go through the issue, and stuff will become self-explanatory as we discuss this.
Sure, well, yeah, okay. So the first thing we got to talk about is this Stupendous cover.
Yeah.
I love this cover. John Romita Sr., I believe, right?
Correct.
Oh, so good. So we have kind of a busy cover at the top here. Strange Tales featuring Brother Voodoo. This logo is awesome.
Yeah, like the letters in Voodoo are like voodoo-y. I don't know. They're like creepy and like
horror, yeah. Like they're kind of uneven. They have like a nice stroke, a nice blue kind of another stroke around it. Yeah, they're all uneven. They're cool. And they have like a texture too. You notice that in the letters?
Yep.
Very cool. And then over on the left, this is kind of interesting. Instead of a regular like corner box or corner circle, we have like the smoke coming up from the rest of the cover is creating like a little area where you have Brother Voodoo, and then you have. Now, is that supposed to be? That's just his like ghost image. That's not his brother, right?
That's his brother. That's his brother Daniel. Like,
gotcha.
Spoiler alert. Jericho Drumm, our beloved Brother Voodoo, his brother Daniel dies. And then Papa Jimbo fuses their souls together. So the spirit of his dead brother is always inside of Brother Voodoo.
Yeah.
That's right. How would that feel, Mike? To have the spirit of your dead brother inside you all the time? It'd be a little
bit weird, in certain parts of the night. But anyway, yeah. Other than that, it'd be fine, I guess.
So there you go. But yeah, getting back to this here cover, the senses staggering superhero who died yet lives again. That's in a blurb in the left there, Michael. And then what's the big image there in the middle?
It's an awesome image of Brother Voodoo kind of like walking towards us. One leg in front of the other. He's got his brother's ghost behind him, kind of holding his hand up like a claw. And he's got his freaking awesome costume. We're going to talk about this?
Yes, of course.
He's got like green pants with yellow, what do you call those? Like, I don't know what. Like, not fur, but like things hanging.
Yeah, they're kind of like tassels, I guess.
Tassels, kind of like tassels, pointy tassels. Then he has like a yellow sash, I guess you'd call it, right?
Well, that's the thing. On the cover, it's colored yellow, but like normally I think it's red.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. It's a miscolored sash. Actually, the whole thing is miscolored because on the inside, the tassels are red as well. To be honest, I think I like the cover better.
Oh no, I like the
Oh no, the red's way better.
Okay.
Because on the cover, he looks like a bottle of Sprite.
Yeah.
It's all green.
Yeah. Anyway, then he's got a funny enough, a V-shaped shirt with a
that's
V-neck.
V for Voodoo. You know?
Yeah.
That's
is it? Okay. I thought it was Vendetta or Victory
and
or
to
something.
call it a shirt is a stretch. It's I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's not a shirt.
It's kind of like if you guys remember in the '90s, like Sports Illustrated swimsuit models, they would wear these racy swimsuits.
Right.
Yes, it's much closer to that.
Where they just cover the boobs, basically, and that's what this is. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, bare chest, bare arms, but then he does have like a little whatever that's called, like not a bracelet, but whatever that's called, that goes around his one bicep there.
Yeah.
And then he's got what's that, Bob?
I would call it's like a snake bracelet, but it's around his bicep.
Right. Yeah. And then he has a necklace with like teeth on it. I guess
what kind of teeth
claws.
do you think those are? Yeah.
Snake? I don't know.
Alligator for sure.
There you go.
Gotta be alligator.
Yeah, I might go alligator. Yeah.
We should also point out he's barefoot.
Yeah, of course.
And then he's got a no mask, but he has like you said, what is that symbol on his forehead? Is it?
It's a circle with a V in the middle.
I thought it was an animal though. It looks like a cat or something, isn't it?
No, it's
like
just a circle with a V.
There's little ears on it. Look.
No,
that's the V sticking out.
Yeah,
I see. Yes, it's like a V. I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah,
okay, it's almost like Superman's logo. It's like I gotcha.
Yeah,
and it's very, very serious forehead.
Yeah,
and the jawline of a very serious man.
Yep.
Yeah, he is very serious. And of course, Michael, that V stands for Voodoo.
Oh right, yeah. Again, and then he's got an earring. We gotta mention the earring.
Yeah, in the left ear, because he's cool. But there's also something missing here on the cover.
Okay.
Is Brother Voodoo? He has a little afro there, like not a huge one, but a small one. But normally there's a streak of white emblazoned right down the center of his hair, but it's not depicted here on the cover, and that's a mistake. Because that's a very significant detail. Because he gets that streak of white hair when Papa Jimbo does the voodoo ceremony to merge him, to possess him with his brother's spirit.
Right.
That's when his hair turns white. And that's also when he gets that symbol on his forehead.
Gotcha.
It's to show that he's possessed by the spirit of his brother. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We should also, I don't know if you mentioned this, Mike, but there's a bunch of guys in the foreground shooting guns at him as well.
Just shooting at him.
Yeah.
And there's a car on fire in the background. There's all kind of smoke and everything. They're at an airport, you can tell.
Yeah.
And it says fantastic first issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first issue, 169 of a series that's been canceled for 5 years. Here we go.
But Bob, what do you think about this cover? It's pretty great, right?
This is a gorgeous cover.
Yeah,
awesome. It's really fantastic. I mean, I can't say anything that you guys haven't already said, but
this is what you want from a comic book cover. Like if I saw this when I was a kid, I'd be, I'm reading the hell out of this. Yeah, let's go.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. If I found this in a print, I would absolutely hang this on my wall. 100%.
Everyone should. Yes, everyone should. All right, Michael. So then we open up the book and we get a big old splash page of Brother Voodoo standing there with his properly colored outfit with the red sash and the red thing.
Yep.
And he's got
the black
snakes.
diamonds on his vest. Oh, it's
yes,
so
the black diamonds on the vest is important. Yeah, because the vest is white, and the black diamonds, they alternate in size as well. There's a big one, a little one, a big one, a little one.
Good point.
And but he's standing here with like snakes wrapped around each of his arms, and there's a bunch of like voodoo dancers in the background. They're playing drums and they're dancing. There's a ring of fire as well. Look at that. A ring of fire.
It's good stuff. Yeah. So it gives a little intro at the top there. His name is Brother Voodoo, and then we're introduced to this guy, Dr. Maitland. Oh no, Dr. Maitland and Willoughby. Willoughby's the one getting off his plane. So plane's flying into Haiti.
No, Willoughby is meeting Dr. Maitland. Maitland is getting off the plane. Willoughby's there to meet him. Yeah.
Oh, right. I had it backwards.
Yes.
So then everything seems to be going well. They're chatting it up, but then all of a sudden, some toughs pull guns on them.
Yeah.
Right?
The same
And,
toughs from the cover.
Yeah. And they start beating up these guys. Thwok, Ung, Dum Dum Dum. Oh, the Dum 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 is they hear the sound of someone coming. Go, what could this be?
It's the drums. It's the voodoo drums.
Yeah,
And
of
by the
course.
way, I don't know if we mentioned this. Len Wein is writing this, and Gene Colan is the artist.
Yeah,
John
I
Romita
wasn't-
Sr. did the cover, but Gene Colan is the artist here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about that now. I do like Gene Colan, but just looking at that splash page tells me why. I mean, John Romita Sr. is better in my opinion. I just love.
I love Gene Colan though.
Yeah.
I,
He's good.
I was gonna say like, I don't know if I could say better because I love Gene Colan.
Yeah.
God, I love
Yeah,
Gene Colan.
for this genre, Gene Colan's probably more appropriate for horror, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to disparage the cover at all. John Romita, he nailed that cover, but Gene
Right.
Colan, he just fits with Strange Tales.
Right.
It just
Right.
it is him.
There are
Right.
two of my top 4 favorite artists, probably
Gene Colan's in my top, maybe 20 for Marvel.
4 or 5. I love it because everything he
Top
does.
20 for Marvel. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, Mike Dell, but
Yeah.
that's insulting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Gene Colan, everything he does has such a feel, like an atmosphere to it, and
Yeah.
I love the way he draws the figure. So yeah, I'm just a big fan of Gene Colan.
He's good. Yeah, he's good.
Atmosphere is the right word. Like
Yes.
when you read a Gene Colan book, you're like, yeah, this is you just feel it's often dark and horror-y, but yeah, you just know you're reading a Gene Colan book.
So obviously you've read Tomb of Dracula then, right?
I've read some Tomb of Dracula. Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I love Dracula. I love vampires too.
Right, me
It's
too.
another one of those weird things that I enjoy.
So anyway, so then they're hearing the drums and the guys. Now we should point out their dialogue is written in a Haitian accent, right?
Yeah, listen, Mon, you hear it? It the sound of the voodoo drum.
Right. Where it coming from? That's my imitation.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in the fog appears Brother Voodoo, right?
Yeah, and another dude as well.
Yeah, some other dude.
Some other dude. How dare you?
And so Brother Voodoo's standing there, and all the toughs have their guns. And Brother Voodoo they're like, yeah, open fire, kill him. But Brother Voodoo just dives in and starts thwamming everybody, right?
Yeah, he's
So
Brother Voodoo, man. Don't fuck
Right.
with Brother Voodoo.
And one of the toughs, he's like, Lordy, Demon ain't natural. Ain't no way muscle or handgun's gonna take out that fella. So he jumps in this car that the two guys were gonna get into from the airport, and he jumps in and he starts driving away.
No,
And-
he's driving right at Brother Voodoo.
Oh, he's
to run him
driving
down.
at Brother Voodoo, right?
Yeah.
But then Brother Voodoo leaps out of the way just before impact, right? And the car smashes into. What does it smash into?
Just a
I don't
wall.
even know. Yeah, just a wall.
It blows
And
up.
then, what's that? Yeah, and it blows up. And now they think, well, now that Nathan's definitely dead, but they also think Brother Voodoo's dead. But then Voodoo's A-okay.
Yeah, he just walks right out of the fire.
Right.
How about that?
And then he's like, kill them, brothers, quickly. So then the other guy is telling the other toughs to shoot him. But then we see, a mysterious apparition behind Brother Voodoo. Looks suspiciously just like him. But it's just a blue outline. And the blue outline ghost thingy goes over and possesses the tough with the yellow kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a Hawaiian shirt. Maybe it's a Haitian shirt, right?
Yeah, Haitian shirt, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Haitian shirt. But possesses that guy. And it stopped. What does it do? It stops him from shooting. I don't even remember. I just read
Well,
this
no,
today.
this is what Daniel Drum does there. The spirit of Daniel Drum, he possesses people and controls their body. So
Right.
he acts out through their body, and then when he leaves their body, they pass out.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So the guy in the Haitian shirt walks up to one of the other toughs holding like a pipe and grabs his hand before he's about to hit Brother Voodoo, and then he punches his own buddy out, right? Because he's possessed.
And the whole time we're seeing like the guy in the yellow shirt acting under Daniel Drum's influence, we see like the blue outline overlay
Yes.
of Daniel Drum over top of him. So yeah.
A very simple graphic that could easily translate to a movie. I like it, or a cartoon. It's cool.
Yeah, there's a couple panels here that just look really great. Like when he's punching and you just see it just slightly offset. Where
Right.
you see it, his brother Daniel behind him. It's just so great.
Yeah, I love it. So that one guy gets knocked out, and then the ghost leaves the tough, and then the tough kind of just falls over, and then the ghost goes back into Brother Voodoo.
Yep.
And then I hear commotion, And then and then Brother Voodoo's like, they will not bother you again, Dr. Maitland. With this, your man can easily hold them here until the authorities arrive. So he hands him one of their guns. And then this is a perfect opportunity because then he's like, you saved my life and I don't even know your name. He's like, I know by many names, doctor. In Haiti, I'm called Brother Voodoo. And then we see this great, now he's flashing back, but we see this awesome close-up of Brother Voodoo's face with like a plane, flying in front of it, but it's like he's all shadowy, and it flashes back to a plane flying into an airport.
Yeah, and this is Brother Voodoo remembering this in his mind. He's not speaking this. Like, this is all done through narration by a narrator, not Brother Voodoo.
Right.
We always talk about how they do exposition in these things. This is done actually well because he's not speaking it, like just explaining things to people.
Right. Or even worse, explaining it to someone that already knows, right?
Yes, that's the worst way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, let me stop here, though, Bob, because I forget who that guy is with Brother Voodoo, and that popped out in the smoke. Who was that guy? And you said, how dare you? And I said, it's just a dude. Is that his assistant?
Babu. Yeah, that's his servant who... he gets that servant a few issues later. I read several of these issues afterward.
Wait, what'd you say his name is again? Babu?
I believe it's Bamboo. I believe it's how it's pronounced. It could be Bamboo. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they mention here later in the book, but I just forget. I can't remember. But. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil things for dear readers, but he gets him a few issues from now. It gets him. Bamboo decides to follow Brother Voodoo when he defeats a certain person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that snake guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah,
spoiler alert. Try not to spoil anything in case anybody wants to go back and read these stories.
But Brother Voodoo, in his memories here, he's remembering how it all started for him in Haiti, and he's flying in with Haiti, and he's a doctor, and he's in a nice fancy suit, and he's carrying his medical bag, and his brother Daniel called him back to Haiti because they grew up in Haiti, and then Jericho went to the United States to become a doctor. He went to college. He was one of them fancy pants doctors now, and it's like 12 years later. Yeah, and it's like 12 years later, but he got an urgent message from his brother to come back to Haiti, so that's what he's doing, Mike. He's coming back to Haiti.
Right. Jericho Drum, author, scholar, noted psychologist.
Yeah.
So he comes back, gets off the plane, and he's like looking around. He's like, oh, nothing ever changes, and he's like just remembering what it was like growing up here. And he's walking along, and then all of a sudden, he gets confronted by a group of toughs.
A lot of toughs in Haiti.
Yeah, a lot of toughs in Haiti. They come out of the shadows and they attempt to beat him up, but he beats them up. Well, they kind of beat him up a little bit too. But he kicks off one of them, thud, walk, and then they take off. And then he makes his way to, this is his brother's house, right?
Yeah, it's like a little, I guess it is like a house. I was thinking it was a little shack, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. We don't judge people, right, by our standards.
No, but I was picturing it in my head as like a little hut, but then I saw it on the page. It's more shaped like a house, though. Yeah.
Right. So then someone answers the door, and then, oh, Jericho, is that you, child? After all these years, is it truly you? Yes, Auntie Matilda, it's me. So this is his Auntie Matilda. And then so she welcomes him in, and then he goes inside, and his brother is laying on a bed, sick, dressed in the same costume that we saw Brother Voodoo in on the cover, right?
And by the way, I think here in this panel, you can tell that V on his chest, that's made out of snakeskin. Because you can kind of see the scales there.
Good point, yep.
Yeah, so like that.
So his brother believes that he's dying. And he believes that he's dying because of something that happened with Damballa, the serpent god, right? Because what did he do? He
punched him in the face.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, those gods can be so sensitive.
Right.
But there's a guy who is a follower of the serpent god Damballa, and but he embodies the god, I guess, here on Earth. And Daniel Drum just walked up and punched him right in the face. Boom. And the reason why he wears that costume is because he's the village's. They have some word for this. Begins with an H, Hogan or something like a. Hogan.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, but
it's basically the village voodoo priest. So that's what he is. And he was pissed off because that serpent god guy was, I don't know, running his mouth, mean mouthing people. And he's like, "All right, take this." Bang! Punched him right in the face.
Right. And then that guy got pissed off and created a wanga? No, is that what it's called? A tool with which to cast his wanga. Yeah, so it's like a voodoo doll, and I guess the wanga is his spell, right? His fatal spell.
Yeah,
so he cast a wanga on this doll, and that is what is supposedly making this guy sick, right? And he's like, I'm going to die soon.
And Jericho, of course, is a man of science. He says this is nonsense. Can't be cursed here.
Right. And then, but all of a sudden, we hear more drums. Dum, 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 dum. He's like, what's going on here? He looks outside, and sure enough, it's that same group of guys from the flashback, right?
And it's Damballa, the snake god, coming at you.
Right. He's like, I'd say Damballa has come to call. So basically this priest and all of his followers are there to like kill them both, right? Or no, he's just threatening. He's like, stay and watch your brother die. At the stroke of midnight, Dr. Man, your brother will feel Damballa's strength, and there's nothing you can do to help him. And then they just leave.
And we should say that Damballa, like all those toughs are followers of Damballa, and he sent them to like ambush Jericho when he on his way into Haiti because they didn't want him around here to save his brother. So
right.
Can we pause for a second and talk about Damballa's awesome headdress, which is just a snake covering his head?
It's kind of like
badass.
He kind of looks like Tila from Masters of the Universe.
It is a little bit like Tila.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I was going to say Serpentor, but yeah. I guess Tila was first.
There's a lot of He-Man going on in here now that you mention it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Damballa is a badass. Yeah, it's like a big white snake head over his head.
Right.
And for some reason that drapes around both sides. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's awesome.
And he also carries like a stick with like a cobra head on it or something too, like a snake head.
Right. So then, so his brother's like, no, look, I'm dying. But there's something I got to tell you before I die. He's like, you've got to go and find the old man, Papa Jumbo, and beg him to come help you. But then meanwhile, we cut over and we see that, what's his name? Is it Damballa? I can't remember his name. Damballa. He's like got his voodoo doll out and he's doing the magic spell on it, and we see how it's kind of affecting the brother, and then he dies. Daniel, he's dead.
Yeah, he stabs him in the chest with like a needle, and he's like,
and it affects him like in real life. And then the future brother Voodoo is all pissed off, so he goes outside to start yelling at Damballa. And, exchanging words. And then the doctor leaps at him, but then, what's his name? Damballa punches him. Walk.
Yeah.
Punches him a couple times, beats him, knocks him to the ground. And he's
he beats the crap out of him. It's not just a punch. Yeah. He lays it into him.
2, 3, at least 3 punches. Yeah,
these are haymakers. He puts him down.
Yeah,
but then Michael, I think there's 4 because there's 2 in one panel there. If you look, bang bang.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
But then he says, "You should have been the one to die tonight, not your brother. But now, big doctor man, you are not even worth killing." And he just walks away. He's not even worth killing, Michael.
Yep. I love it when bad guys do that. They have the chance to kill the guy.
That's a big mistake. Big mistake.
That's going to come back
Circle
to bite him in the
that one.
ass.
Circle that one. That's going to come back to haunt him.
But now, Brother Voodoo, or the future Brother Voodoo, he knows what to do. He's like, I can go into the jungle and find Papa Jumbo, right?
Yeah.
So then he drives his Jeep out to the jungle, and he's like, I don't even know where I'm going. I just know I'm not going to stop walking until I find Papa Jumbo.
He just drives randomly into the jungle.
Just drives into the jungle.
Right. That's what I would do. And then he starts
I'll
walking.
find him.
Yeah.
I'll find him.
And he's walking through, and then all of a sudden we see a serpent up in a tree.
By the way, he's not just walking through, Michael. He's carrying the corpse of his dead brother on his shoulder.
I forgot about that. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wrapped up in like a tarp. He's just walking around. I mean, like a Jericho drum, he's not a huge guy, maybe 180 being generous, but his brother's like the exact same size, so he's carrying
his brother is the exact same size as him.
Right.
He's carrying his own body weight through the jungle as he's walking.
Good workout.
What a badass. Yeah.
But so then he gets attacked by a serpent, but he's like, what? Boa constrictor trying to crush the life out of me. Why would it? It's Damballa. He must have learned I was on my way and sent the serpent to stop me, right?
Yeah,
But then
Damballa controls snakes. He can
right.
do whatever he wants.
But then he pulls out a knife and cuts the snake's throat, kills it. And I was going to say now he's carrying a dead snake and a dead brother, but he's not. He's just carrying the dead brother.
Yeah, he drops the dead snake. Yeah.
Right. So he's carrying them, and then until his battered body refuses to take that precious step, and then he just collapses. And then when he wakes up, he sees this old dude standing above him with white long hair, and he's like serving him like, I don't know, like a not stew, but like soup.
Yeah. Papa
and then,
Jumbo.
Right, he's like, swallow and tell Papa Jumbo why you have come all this way. Carrying a corpse on your back, for Christ's sake. The guy's like, Papa Jumbo? That's not just any old corpse, old man. And he's like, your brother, I know. So he knows the whole story, right? Yeah. And then they start chatting, and he's like, no, I will not go back. So he's trying to get this guy to come back to help him fight these guys. And he's like, no, I will not go back to your village with you. Papa Jumbo will not go anywhere. And he's like, what? And he's like, instead, here, I got something for you. And he hands
That's the same thing that happens, though, whenever anyone comes to my house, Michael, and they say, hey, why don't you come do something with me? I'm like, nah, Papa Jumbo don't go anywhere. I stay right
here. And then you give him a snake
skin. And then you strip the clothes off the corpse they're carrying?
Yeah.
Does that also happen?
Well, depends. Yeah.
Depends on the day of the
so
week.
he takes the clothes off the corpse, Michael, and he gives them to Jericho.
Yep. And sure enough, he's standing there, and he's like, if your people desire a champion, Jericho Drum, we can give them one. Stay here, become my pupil, and Brother Voodoo will live again. Yeah. That's it.
And next issue, Baptism of Fire. So
yep.
There it is, the first appearance of Brother Voodoo. I fucking love this. I love
yeah, I gotta say, I loved it too.
Yeah. Bob, what'd you think?
I mostly loved it. Yeah, it's really pretty great. I mean, I have a minor quibble, but it's a minor quibble.
And what would that
be? This is too much for one comic. This, I think, in my opinion.
I thought it could have gone longer.
I mean, there's a flashback. There's his brother dying. There's him fighting Damballa. There's his going into the jungle to find Papa Jumbo. It's like, when I was reading it, I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this, but it's like, this feels like a really long story for one issue.
That's a fair point.
That's my only quibble. I loved it other than that.
Because when you look at how the story's structured, they frame it with an opening of Brother Voodoo right now in the present, so we can see what Brother Voodoo has to offer, the action scene.
Yeah.
And then he flashes back in his mind, and then during that flashback, we get a flashback from Daniel telling about... So you get a flashback in a flashback. One might say you could have just started the book with Jericho Drum coming off the plane. But I don't know.
I'm not sure the better way to write it, but I feel like this was a lot for one comic book. If I just picked up this book, I'd be like, wow, this was a lot. But I mean, I read several of these, so it all fits. It all carries into one narrative. But like for one book, this was a lot of story for one issue.
Yeah, it was 1973. They weren't scared to write back in the 60s and 70s.
That's true. I mean, again, it's a minor quibble. I don't care. I'll read it. Yeah. But
it works perfectly.
It did feel like they tried to shove a lot into one book.
But the writing itself, Len Wein, I thought he did a really good job here in terms of the dialogue and everything. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm never sure what to feel about Len Wein, but because he's one of Grant Morrison's favorite writers, I think I got to give him a chance. And this was actually really good.
If Grant Morrison loves him, then he must be good.
Yeah, then he is good. I just have to figure out why.
But this was really well done by Len Wein and Gene Colan. I love Gene Colan. Anything he does, I'm going to love. So this was great. Mm-hmm. Mike L, thoughts on the Brother Voodoo?
I really did enjoy this. It's funny because, again, I among the many comics that I've read and sold was a really long run of Justice League by Len Wein that I thought was okay but not great. But I thought this was much better. And the thing I like about these 70s heroes is, I mean, there was so many new superheroes, all of them created by Roy Thomas, of course. But it's like, a lot of these disappeared. Like, I grew up barely knowing who Brother Voodoo was, but this is a pretty cool concept, and it's too bad.
Yeah, I don't
it didn't
understand
really last.
why he wasn't more popular. I mean, this is really cool. Like, I love this.
Right, I agree. Something different.
Yeah, I first discovered Brother Voodoo. I don't know when I wrote that story for your website there, Michael, but I had known of him before that. But when I read that book, I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. Why isn't this a thing?
Right.
And you know where else I knew Brother Voodoo from? Marvel Avengers Alliance. Do you remember that game on Facebook? You could play that game?
No. It was on Facebook?
Yeah, I played it through Facebook, but it was like this was years ago. Bob, you remember me talking about this all the time, right?
I do remember you talking about it. I've never played it myself, but I remember you guys talking about it.
Oh, it was so great. Yeah, you have like 3 heroes go into battle with like different enemies, and Brother Voodoo was on there. And one of his moves was, you could use the spirit of Daniel to possess an enemy. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, he would come out of your body and
Really?
Yeah, Brother Voodoo was the shit. I used him all the time on that game. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Brother Voodoo. So what else did I want to say about this? I don't know. Probably. I already read one of these issues, but I'll probably finish out this run here. Now, there is a note here. When you get to issue 173, the Brother Voodoo story does not end. It is continued in the pages of Tales of the Zombie. So
really, okay, yeah,
yeah, in issue 6. So I think in the final, because I almost picked issue 173. I think the guy, the Black Talon. Do you remember that guy? He's like a voodoo priest as well.
I do. Yes,
he was in West Coast Avengers early on in the run.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy in 173, like the villain. Right in the last panel, you see him. Brother Voodoo's confronting him. And then you got to read the Tales of the Zombie book to finish the story. So.
Yeah, I haven't read all the way through, but spoiler alert, he starts dealing with zombie-type creatures. And the story that this starts with, where he's in the airport, that comes back a couple issues later.
Yeah, and they couldn't call them zombies because of the comics code. Wow. I forget what they called them.
Yeah, it's something weird. It's like Mahazombie or something. It starts with a Z, but it's like Zamboombi or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's weird. It's a word I've never heard before, but it started with a Z and ended with Ombi, or at least ended with B. So it was like Zamboombi or something. It was weird, but they're clearly zombies.
So, Michael, that's why Tales of the Zombie was a magazine, a black and white magazine. It wasn't under the Comics Code Authority, right?
Right. Okay. Yep.
And they would do more adult kind of stories. Like you read some of those books, there'd be some naked ladies in there.
Yes, there would be. Yes, I believe I've come across a few.
Yeah, you could see a picture of a naked lady.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got to read Tales of the Zombie next October.
There you go.
Well, anything else about Brother Voodoo? He's awesome, and everyone should read him. I think that's where I stand on Brother Voodoo. Anything else?
I just hope that another writer brings him back, not that other guy I mentioned earlier,
For the record, I quite enjoyed Daredevil Volume 2, in which Brian Michael Bendis had a quite heavy hand in. I don't remember the exact stories, but I liked Volume 2, and I know Brian Michael Bendis was heavily involved, so don't listen to what Michael says.
All right.
Do you remember what the general theme was of that Daredevil Volume 2? Was that when he went to San Francisco, or was that when?
No, it was later than that.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what all happened. It starts. Unfortunately, it starts with Karen Page's death.
It's like 2000s, right? Like early 2000s.
But that story is Kevin Smith, so you could just brush that under the rug and be like, we don't need to talk about that. Exactly.
But because Michael, I went back and I read a bunch of more recent Daredevils. And who was the other writer? Mark Waid? Was he doing Daredevil?
Mark Waid, yeah.
I love Mark Waid. Yeah, he did the run where the Spot comes back and
yeah.
That's all the Volume 3. I haven't read any of those yet, but I do intend to.
Well, I think that's
he
the
took
one
it in a whole different direction.
Yeah, I think he went to San Francisco, right? There.
That might be.
Yes,
afterward.
he did. That's right. That's right.
That
because
might be right.
They stupidly rebooted it in the middle of the run, and in Volume 4, that's when he went to San Francisco. So it went Volume 3, then Volume 4. But you probably wouldn't notice because you were doing digital, right, Mike Dell?
Yes. Yeah, I was reading the digital. So, all right. Anyway, let's get back to the Brother Voodoo. Oh, by the way, though, Daredevil, I saw they put out a new promotional thing. Daredevil Born Again, the new series. Did you see that?
Oh, I've been waiting for it my whole life.
I mean, I'm so excited about it. It's like 18 episodes, which I'm a little torn on because that's so much Daredevil, but it's 6 issues. How are you going to drag this into 18?
I know.
I can't. I don't want to complain because it's Daredevil.
Wait.
How are you going to do this?
You guys know way more about this than I do. It's going to be 18 episodes?
Yeah,
this is what I saw. I saw this. I don't know a lot, but I saw it was going to be 18 episodes.
Well, I'm guessing 18 half-hour episodes, right?
No,
I have no idea.
Well, here's the thing: is that Daredevil was a great show, especially season 1. But the one huge flaw was how they would clearly just waste time by having people talk. Sometimes, you know.
How dare they have people talk more?
Yeah.
No, but you know what I'm talking about. They were spinning their wheels, and so you're right. Like Born Again was only 6 issues.
It was 5 or 6. I don't remember. But it wasn't a long arc.
No, so you're right. It should be exactly 6 episodes. And it should be word for word, in my opinion.
I'm not going to say that because I'm excited for it. And there ain't no doubt I'm watching all 18 episodes and I'm going to love them all. But I'm a little bit worried that 18 seems like a lot.
Well, whenever we used to review the Daredevil shows on the LCS show, I would always break it down like what was good and what was bad about it. And my list of bad things was always very long. Yet then when I got to the end, I still really enjoyed the series, though. I was like, I still loved it, but they still fucked up a lot of shit. But I still loved it.
Yeah, like they weren't perfect, but it's still better than pretty much most of the superhero stuff that has been put on film. Yeah. I know Mike L won't agree because
he loves Batman.
Because he loves Batman.
Who doesn't, right?
Hey, but when are we getting a Brother Voodoo movie? Come on, let's do Brother Voodoo.
Well, I guarantee the way things are going, I mean, eventually they will, right? Why not?
Yeah, they're making everybody else. Let's get Brother Voodoo.
You know, and that's the thing is I was actually telling someone, because I was complaining about how now Marvel has a show out called Echo. It's coming out soon, right?
What?
Yeah. Echo. Yeah, there's an Echo. They're doing a series just on Echo.
Yeah,
which I'm excited about. I
think that's lame.
I mean, Echo was a minor character, but you know what? I like it. I don't care.
Well, wait. Echo, was she the the deaf girl in Hawkeye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she might be, I don't know, she was in Daredevil Volume 2. She might be a Bendis character. I don't know.
I think she is.
She might be a Bendis character.
So here's the thing. I'm not watching it for 3 reasons. Because it's a Bendis character, A. B, because I didn't like that actress in Hawkeye. And C, because why would you do an Echo TV show when we don't have a Quasar show? We don't have a Darkhawk show.
Well,
we don't have a Brother Voodoo show, right? Come on.
Yeah, I'll give you the Brother Voodoo, but a Quasar show, you got it.
I don't think anybody's gonna line up with you on the Quasar thing. I think you're all alone on an island on that one.
Quasar.
If I ever make it into the film industry, that'll be my dream project. You'll see.
All right. We'll wait with bated breath. All right, so Bob, what would you give Strange Tales 169 featuring Brother Voodoo?
I think only because, like I said, I think it's too much story in one issue. So for this issue, I think I'm going to give it an 8. It could be even higher if it weren't quite so much, because it's really a great origin issue. I love the art. I love the story. I love Brother Voodoo. It's great.
Mike L?
I'll give it a solid 7. It's
7?
Definitely... Okay, 7.25. How's that?
What the fuck?
Wait, you're getting into 2 5s? You're getting into quarter points?
I definitely enjoyed it, but I mean, okay, fine. 7.5. It definitely was good. It was, put it this way, it was much better than I thought it would be. Much better.
It was awesome. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. Because let's not overlook the John Romita Senior cover. You deserve credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Yeah, the Brother Voodoo. Yeah, this is 9 out of 10 for me. I loved every second of this. This was great.
I do say the concept is a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a great idea. It's something different, and I wish we could have seen more.
No, Michael, the concept is a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the concept I think is a 10. Like I said, I'm only taking off points because I feel like it's not. I feel like the writing, not the writing itself, but I feel like there's too much story as far as the issue construction. Is the only reason I'm taking off points for this.
Right.
The concept and the art are 10s.
He's a master of voodoo magic who is possessed by the spirit of his dead brother. That is amazing.
It's a good idea. That's what I mean.
And he's a doctor. What was he? A physician and a psychiatrist or something or other? He's got it all.
Yeah.
And he fights a guy with a snake on his head.
Yeah. This is awesome. Everything about this is awesome. So, all right, Brother Voodoo, everyone should go read it immediately. Mike L. next week.
All right, well, if you want to talk about 10 out of 10s, it's coming your way. It's coming your way soon, okay?
Something tells me that's not true.
We're going to go with, this has got to be the ultimate wild card. I don't think we've ever done anything like this. Well, maybe we did. Maybe I picked it. But we're going to do Who's Who, the definitive directory of the DC Universe, number 9.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I just gave you the link, so you guys are free to click on it and look at it.
But you're doing Who's Who before you're doing Marvel,
of course, because they had the idea
handbook?
first.
What was that called? Marvel Handbook?
The Marvel Universe, there was like different editions, like the definitive handbook, the other handbook. I don't remember what they're called.
What was the one in the late 80s where they did it again? And it was
Update 89.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever it was.
But it was like deluxe edition.
It was like a 12-issue limited series or something. Remember?
Well, there was the first one. Then was the deluxe edition, which was like 15 issues or 20 issues. Then there was Update 89, which was 6 issues. I think that was it.
All right. Well, we should have done that before Who's Who.
Oh well, but DC had the idea first, so.
Just looking at this cover, I could name like 3, maybe 4 characters on this cover.
I can name maybe 46.
There's 2 Green Lanterns. There's
2 Green Lanterns.
There's a Green Arrow on here. There's like almost nobody I could name on this cover. I mean, they're all DC, so who cares? But this is terrible.
I'm so excited.
There's a big monkey, Mike Dell.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a big monkey.
I was going to purposely pick one with a cover by George Perez, but then I thought, why should I bother? Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Thank you, Bob, for joining us.
Of course.
Yes,
happy to come on.
10th appearance. You're catching up to Jank and Miles Watson.
I mean, I might be catching Miles Watson. I think Jank is at like 87 or something.
Yeah. It's in his contract. He's got to be in every other episode now. So yeah, there you go. You can enjoy every episode of Flea Market Fantasy at www.comicbooksyndicate.com. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks. It's all from the Bronze Age, 1970 to 1989. So until next Tuesday, disperse!